I'm Lisa Lepore, and today we're talking about ski holidays. You're probably looking at them right now thinking about how you should do it. Well, according to a recent survey, you should be booking your winter holiday by rail. To tell us more about the Rail Europe survey, we've got Dr. David Viner from the University of East Anglia. So David, tell us, what did the Rail Europe survey find?
Well, the survey commissioned by Rail Europe, the operator of the snow train, has really suggested that whilst 72% of us are aware of what our carbon footprint is, and we take actions at home to try and reduce our carbon emissions, we really leave our carbon conscious behind when we start thinking about our winter holidays.
So what should people be thinking about when booking their winter holidays?
I think people are really driven by the attractiveness at the moment people are driven by the attractiveness of the low-cost airlines. They appear a very cheap way of travelling, but they are very damaging to the environment. They're producing some 30 times as much carbon dioxide emissions per kilometre travelled as you would do if you went by train. So the train is providing an alternative, environmentally friendly form of travel, and one which can help give other benefits as well, to increasing the length of holiday and our enjoyment whilst we're travelling as well to the Alps.
So if the level of damage continues at the same rate as at the moment, what will be the environmental result?
Well, as a result of increasing carbon dioxide emissions and concentrations of those gases in the atmosphere, we're seeing impacts upon the environment, and one of those is the reduction of snow cover in the low-lying ski resorts in the Alps. We're seeing a reduction of the snow cover, the reduction of the piste size. And by the middle of the 21st century, we could see less than half the existing pistes exist.
So what would be the environmental impact of the ecosystem there?
Well, that will put immense pressures on the Alpine region. There'll be increased numbers of people wanting to travel to the Alps. We know that tourism is increasing quite rapidly. It will mean more congestion in the Alpine regions. Maybe pistes will be having to be built in places which are in national parks at the moment, and produce fairly severe environmental consequences for many parts of the Alpine region.
So how much difference will travelling by train actually make?
We know that if we travel by train, we produce some 30 times fewer emissions than if we travel by air. So that has a big impact straight away. The way we travel to the railway as well is important. There's less infrastructure associated with the railways in terms of other types of carbon emissions from personal transport getting to the rail stations as well. So overall, it produces a lot more environmentally friendly form of transport to and from the Alpine region when compared to using aeroplanes and airports.
Well, we know about the environmental damage it saves, but is travelling by rail really cost effective?
Yeah, I think trains overall are cost effective. One of the things that low-cost carriers have as an advantage, or low-cost airlines have as an advantage, is that they're not paying any aviation duties. No duty on aviation fuel. Trains are paying duty on their fuel use, so they're at an unfair advantage. Once that is reversed, and it's likely that aviation fuel costs will continue to rise, maybe an aviation fuel tax as well coming into the pipeline, we know that trains provide a more environmentally friendly, cost-effective form of travel.
And it's easy too.
Well, trains provide us a lot more relaxing time, less queuing. We don't have to queue at airports. We don't have the worries of winter delays, etc. It's a lot more fun. You can get up, move around, and on the snow train, for instance, there's a disco, so party time.
That was Dr. David Viner from the University of East Anglia. We're now joined by Amanda Munro from Rail Europe. So Amanda, who are Rail Europe and what is the snow train?
Well, Rail Europe have been in existence for around 100 years. We sell European rail tickets, and we are operators of the snow train, which is a service which runs throughout the winter and will take you from London or Ashford to Paris and then on overnight to the French Alps to give you a fantastic ski holiday.
So why did Rail Europe conduct the survey?
Well, the survey that Rail Europe conducted was looking into the snow train. We know and have known for some time that rail travel is a far more environmentally friendly way of travelling than flying, for example. But we wanted to find out whether skiers and snowboarders were really aware of that as well.
So what were some of the major findings from the survey you conducted?
Well, we found that 72% of the people that we surveyed actually were aware of what their carbon footprint was. But when you think that some 5.3 million people still flew to the French Alps last year alone from Britain, that's a huge level of carbon emissions that people are giving off. We also found that around 88% of people were prepared actually to think about changing the way they travelled, on finding that in as little as 15 years, the lower level resorts in the French Alps could be dramatically reduced because of carbon emissions.
Is the snow train cost effective?
Well, I don't think we could ever say that the snow train would be the cheapest option. There are so many low-cost airlines in existence at the moment offering very, very low-priced flights. But if you're keen to do something to actually save the future of the Alps, Rail travel emits something like 5.7 grams of carbon per kilometre, as opposed to air travel, which is 180 grams per kilometre. If you're interested in saving the environment, really it's a bit of a no-brainer. You take the train. And in addition to that, it's a great service. You travel overnight from Paris. If you want to get a good night's sleep, there's a flatbed couchette accommodation. You arrive very early the next morning, so you actually have 8 days skiing instead of 6, and those 2 extra days are on the Saturdays when most people are trying to make their way from the airports 3 or 4 hours from the resorts. And for those people who are really up for a party and who want to start their holiday straight away, there's the bar disco carriage so they can dance their way down to the Alps overnight.
That sounds great. So where can we find out some more information?
Well, you can visit www.raileurope.co.uk or call 08708 304 864.